this is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, coming at you from my beautiful backyard garden on a nice spring day. And today's episode, it's about juicing. Of course, that's what I do. I do all kinds of juice tests. I juice myself almost on a daily basis. I run all kinds of different produce items through my juicer. And if it can be juiced, I'm the one that will know about it. And today we're going to talk about a really one of my favorite fruits, actually, that many of you guys may not know about. It's actually the cactus fruit. This is the kind of the purple, the red kind, and then we have a green kind right here. This guy just came in his season. He has actually a nice long season, probably spring to maybe even sometimes the winter, depending on where they're being sourced from. And if you're lucky to live in the desert Southwest, maybe you could even wild harvest these guys yourself. That being said, if you do wild harvesting, be careful. They do have what's called glaucids. They're kind of like thorns, but even more a pain in the you-know-what to get out of if you get into you. So you want to be careful. That's why I prefer generally to buy most of my cactus fruits at the grocery store or the wholesale produce terminal. Let's see here. Yeah, so the best place to find these is not Whole Foods or regular grocery stores. You want to go to your Mexican markets, particularly, or Hispanic markets. They're most likely to have it because most of these guys actually come out of Mexico, although U.S. does make production. Usually in the early winter is when U.S. Production comes out. Otherwise, these guys are hard to find. In places like Whole Paycheck, you may end up paying like $2.99 a pound. Sometimes when they're on sale at a local market here in town, they're anywhere from maybe $7 for $1, $6 for $1, and that's like a good price, or $3 for $1, at a just normal price, or maybe 99 cents a pound. If you live in Texas, HEB or Central Market, not HEB, but Central Market generally will have these guys for a decent price, but not as good as a local Hispanic market. So the challenge I got is I just actually bought 2 cases of these guys, which are like 40 pounds a case, and I was trying to juice them yesterday, and I ran across a big problem. My go-to juicer that I use on a daily basis is this guy right here. It's the Omega VSJ843. It's my favorite vertical auger juicer. In this episode, I'm only talking about the best vertical auger juicer to use for cactus fruits. Other juicer styles may work, like a centrifugal ejection will definitely work to juice these guys. It's going to make a mess because these have hard seeds that will basically blow everywhere. It's going to aerate the juice. It's going to make a lower quality. Other horizontal or auger juicers or twin gear juicers may also juice these guys or may not, right? I'm recommending the one that I like to use because it's the easiest, also the quickest for the cactus fruits. Of course, if you have other juicing needs, be sure to check my other videos. I have videos on the best juicer for celery, the best juicer for ginger, the best juicer for cucumbers, and I run it all on my channel. But today, cactus fruits and vertical juicers only. So yeah, this is my go-to juicer. I basically use it for everything, and normally I would juice cactus fruits with a coconut milk. If I remember, I'll post a link down below on how I make that. And normally that works well on this machine when basically putting in the cactus fruit with the coconut milk mixture. That kind of helps dilute the seed content, and then it keeps things flowing a little bit better. But surprisingly, when I was juicing the cactus fruits alone yesterday in this machine, it started backing up and jamming, and it was not cool. So at this point, I cannot recommend a VSJ if you want to juice straight cactus fruits, right? Then I got out the Kuvings C7000. I'm like, okay, the Kuvings C7000, that'll work pretty good because it doesn't have a flap that prevents things from coming out. It doesn't grind as well as the VSJ. It's going to work well. Well, I started juicing in this, and it stopped and backed up too, actually. It was actually easier to get apart, but harder to clean than the VSJ once I was done. And so then I'm like, man, what should I use? A slow star? Well, I already knew not to use a slow star because I had juiced cactus fruits previously in the slow star, and the slow star also basically stopped working. Now, the reason why it stopped working is because these machines are so efficient. How they work is you put the produce in, and an auger, which is inside this little auger here, spins around and basically grinds up the produce you put in. Normally, if it's a normal fruit, which is like, apple seeds or something, it'll grind the seeds up. But the seeds on these cactus fruits are relatively hard, and so the machine does grind these up. The problem is once the seeds are ground up into a fine particulate and the juice is extracted, this basically is the seeds turn into sawdust, and then they basically harden and congeal together, maybe due to some of the properties in the cactus fruit that makes it, mucilaginous and kind of like stick together. But anyways, basically the the pulp hardens into like a sawdust, into like a particle board inside your machine, so then no pulp could continue to come out and the machine gets stuck. And if you continue to go, you will damage the machine, including the screen and or maybe the motor or other parts. In addition, when it was done, it was extremely difficult to get the top off because it was just stuck in there because the auger got jacked up and it was just hard to take apart. So I don't recommend juicing straight cactus fruits in any of these 3 juicers. But then I'm like, okay, John, what juicer could you use next? Because I'm not using a horizontal or a twin gear to juice my cactus fruits, because that might end in disasters. Plus, they may not get as high of a yield because I want all the screen area to get a high yield. So then I whipped out my trusty, handy Shine juicer. This is normally my travel juicer that I travel with, but I have it here at the house. But many times it's just packed in my bag. Actually, I did get it out of my bag to actually use. But so I'm like, okay, let's use a Shine juicer. It has less, backflow prevention because it has a relatively larger outlet ports. It doesn't tend to grind as well, which means you may not get as high of a yield. But it means it's going to juice cactus fruits excellently. So guess what? I got this machine out and I juiced 3 times as many cactus fruits as I could in either of these 2 guys. And it was still going despite having only a 10-minute duty cycle. So, that's the main difference between this guy and these guys. These guys have a 30-minute duty cycle, and I've used my VSJ close to an hour straight without stopping. Although that being said, I would only encourage you guys to do what's in the manual, like use the machine for 30 minutes straight and then shut it off and let it rest before you go any further, because you may do, motor damage. That being said, the Shine juicer was the winner. The least expensive juicer in this case beat out all the others for cactus fruit. And every juicer has its pros and cons. Some juicers are more efficient at juicing this fruit or this vegetable, this root or this green or this herb, right, than others. And that's where I come in, because I test all the machines and I know what works and what doesn't. So in this episode, we're going to go ahead and share with you guys the only vertical single auger juicer I recommend for juicing cactus fruits, the Shine. We're going to clear off these other juicers and we're going to come back and juice, like, I don't even know, like maybe at least a quart, maybe 2 quarts of cactus fruits for you guys, and show you guys the process in the Shine juicer. All right, so now we're ready to juice cactus fruits in the Shine juicer, the best juicer for cactus fruits that I found when juicing them alone. But first, I want to show you guys actually how to pick a good cactus fruit, all right? So number one, what I want you guys to do when you guys pick a cactus fruit, I want you guys to look and be aware of the color, right? So you can see like both these are like a green style cactus fruit, but this one's a bit more kind of yellow than green. And so that means it's generally going to be riper. So you want to see better color, and it shouldn't be super hard, although if it's super hard it could be alright, but sometimes they're picked a bit early and they're super hard. When they get, when they're sitting around in the store a lot, they get a little bit soft, but I would probably want them a little bit soft, but not super hard. Super hard generally means more unripe. Now you can see some of these here that I bought, they got like black spots on them, and if I had to, I wouldn't necessarily buy ones with black spots on them, but basically I bought them and then they sat out of the fridge, which they should be fridged. And if you fridge them, they should be fridged at around 40 degrees. They'll easily last like 2 weeks in your fridge at 40 degrees. These were left not in my fridge because I was out of fridge space. So they turned a little bit black, and some got soft. But they're still all right to eat. I'll just cut off the bad spots and end up juicing them. And so I want to encourage you guys, whenever you guys can find them, get the red ones or the purple ones, because they have a deeper, richer pigment. When you cut them open inside, you will see this. And that's known as the betalains. Well, that's one of the antioxidants or phytochemicals inside the cactus fruit. And that's really good for us. And you could look up research on cactus fruit juice. It's very high in ORAC or antioxidant value. It tastes good too. It's one of my favorite fruits, honestly. Depending if you get them, you could get a sweet one, you get one not so sweet if it's not so ripe. The bricks can maybe be up to 16 bricks, I think is the highest maybe I've ever seen. I have an Instagram post on that. But yeah, these are definitely good fruits. The reason why most people don't like to eat these is because they are very seedy, and you could swallow the seeds, they'll go right through you. But if you got something like diverticulitis or something, you shouldn't be eating the seeds. And I don't want to deal with the seeds, have to put the seeds through my body, because they just run right through you. And I'd rather remove the seeds. Most people would basically blend the cactus fruit and then strain it out. I prefer to juice it because it's a lot easier, in my opinion, and you're going to get, it's going to oxidize and nutrition less. All right. So I guess let's go ahead and share with you guys how to open a cactus fruit. So basically, the cactus fruit has like a skin on it. It's kind of like a banana skin. And what I do is I basically cut off the bottom, and cut a small section at the bottom off, and then I cut a small section at the top off, right? And then we're going to cut down the middle of the fruit all the way down, and then I basically just tip it back, and then you could basically peel off the cactus fruit to basically peel off the skin. Even though the skin was kind of like black and messed up on the outside, the inside is perfect. And if we look on the inside of the skin, even though it's black on the outside, the skin is still good on the inside. If the skin was black, or had some problems, or this had some problem areas, then I would definitely not be juicing it, or I would cut off the bad spots. Once again, here's a purple. We're gonna go ahead and cut the bottom off this guy. Super simple, super easy. I did get sick one time really bad from basically just blending whole cactus fruits without washing them and then straining them and without removing the skin. So at present time, I do not encourage you guys to eat the cactus fruit with the skin intact. It may have contamination, maybe toxic in the glaucids. Anyways, here we're just peeling the skin off. Once again, it peels off really nice and easily. And on this one, you can see the skin's all red, except for we have one spot there that looks a little bit funky. And so that went into the fruit, and the fruit looks a little bit funky now. So we're just gonna go ahead and take the knife and dig out part of the bad spot, and it goes right into the compost, and then the rest is all right to juice. And that's how you do it. And so then once you get them cut, then we're gonna just cut them in half again, and you can see some of the dark seeds in there. And now we're gonna go ahead and cut the red one in half. You guys can see some of the seeds in there, but look at the color difference, man. I really want to encourage you guys to eat fruits and eat foods that are vibrantly colored. So if you could find like, purple kale instead of the green kale or the red kale, I would encourage you guys to do that. This will stain your cutting board, your fingers, your knives, so don't be alarmed. It's food grade. So I guess what I want to do for you guys is we're going to juice all these cactus fruits. I'm going to just basically cut them open one at a time and drop them in the juicer. Let the juicer juice it up, and we're going to see how long it takes me to juice all these cactus fruits, how much we're going to yield, and if the shine juicer could juice all these without stopping. All right. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and turn this on, relatively quiet. We're going to hit the start button here. And we're just going to basically drop in a fruit one at a time. Now, I encourage you to drop one red and then one green and then one red and one green. Generally, the red ones are a little bit softer, and as you guys can see, without hesitation, the juicer is giving us that nice, rich, deep colored, magenta color juice, and as you guys can see, it's separating out the pulp nice and easily. So I guess to save you guys some time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically cut each one in half, and I'm just going to drop it in the machine. And we're going to come back at you when I'm done so we can see how long it takes me to juice all these cactus fruit. Alright, so I'm down to the last cactus fruit right here, and it looks like it's been doing really well. I mean, the machine hasn't stopped once, nor has it backed up. You always want to keep an eye on the outlet port to make sure that the pulp is still flowing. If it stops flowing at any point, that's when you immediately need to stop juicing the cactus fruits, because that means there's probably like some kind of backup situation. This has worked excellently in the shine juicer. How long did we take? All right, wow, we took actually 16 minutes. I don't know if you guys can see that, to juice. So this machine has a 10-minute duty cycle, so I do not encourage you guys to run the machine longer than 10 minutes. The base of the machine is getting quite warm, so I guess with that we're going to go ahead and turn it off to let it rest. But yeah, it handled 15 minutes without any issue this time. And now we have some delicious cactus fruit juice. So I'm going to try it. All right, now I'm going to try the delicious cactus fruit juice here for you guys on the video. This stuff will stain, so be very careful. All right, barely had any drips. There it is. Look at that nice, rich, deep color. This is actually a thick juice. It's not like super thin. Think of it like a nectar you had, when you're a kid out of a can. Well, anyways, I did. And yeah, a little bit thick. Today it's like mildly sweet. It has a really nice mouthfeel. Kind of like gelatinous, a little bit gelatinous, not super thin like carrot juice, but it's good. It has a unique flavor all its own. Let me see if I can describe it for you guys. I mean, all I could say is it puts a smile on my face, and I guess it tastes like to me it tastes like a fruit punch, like a bunch of different fruits combined. It tastes sweet, it tastes delicious, really nice, texture there. I think they have studies that talk about, how this has helped people with blood sugar issues and all different kinds of things. Once again, if you want to juice cactus fruits, this is the machine you want to get. Don't get any other vertical machine. Even some of the horizontals may have challenges with the seeds, getting them hard, impacted, and then as the seeds are coming out, they're going to dry and cause a pulp blockage, which then can actually damage your machine. So yeah, this is the only machine I recommend at present time for a slow juicer to juice cactus fruits. Even my $2,300 Pure juicer, I tried to juice cactus fruits and it worked the first time, but then after the second time, the gelatinous got the press cloth too slimy, and then basically the press cloth would blow open. So even a $2,300 Pure juicer can't juice the cactus fruits as effectively as the Shine juicer here, $150. And look at this pulp. I mean, you see a little bit of the juice at the bottom, but for the most part, I mean, we could try eating this. You don't want to eat that. It's like there's very little juice left in there, and it's just like mostly seed and all the fiber. And that's why I like juicing so much, right? My body doesn't have to digest the seeds, and especially important if you got diverticulitis. Muy bueno. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, learning about the best juicer to juice cactus fruits, vertical juicer anyways, be sure to like this video. Also be sure to share this video on cactus fruit groups that people love cactus fruits. Maybe if you live in the Southwest, put this on the local forums and boards so people can learn how to juice the cactus fruits with the best juicer, so you could extract the delicious goodness out of it without any heat processing. That's very important to me. Keep all the enzymatic activities and the highest level of phytonutrients and phytochemicals so that you can benefit from the fruits and the vegetables out there in the world. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes. I'm coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what new juicer, blender, vacuum blender I'll be testing. So hopefully guys, get you guys healthier. Also be sure to click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. Finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel, comparing and contrasting different juicers, as well as sharing my views on what juicer is best for juicing certain kinds of produce items. Finally, I want to encourage you guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, hey, please help me, support me so I can continue to make these videos, pay for my cactus fruits, pay for my mortgage and all these things by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me to continue my work and my mission to educate you guys about fruits and vegetables and their power. So with that, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.